So, many people are still thinking, many people are still trying, and many are still contemplating. So, if you are one of those, this quick podcast is for you. So, let's go. Hello, delicious peeps. This is your friend JC. How are you guys doing? Welcome back to our delicious coffee break, where we spend quality time together as we talk about important things in life. And if you haven't subscribed yet, consider clicking this red button down here, and don't forget also to activate or click the bell button so you will be instantly notified when we have a coffee break. So the question is, should you consider working in the UK as a nurse in 2020? The answer is very personal. I have my own take on this topic, but of course, we're gonna break down some considerations that we need to take before making a decision. So last night, I was scrolling on my Facebook and I came across this post of one of my friends, and I felt sad about it. Up to now, I feel sad about this one because many are also expecting for a positive outcome regarding this matter, and this can be a bit of like a contributing factor for many people deciding or trying to decide if they will be pushing through going abroad, or if they will consider if this is the right time to consider going to abroad. And UK is one of the most popular options nowadays for Filipino registered nurses. So as I mentioned earlier, the final answer in this question is very personal. It depends on your own circumstances. It depends on the things that you need to consider. But let me help you with that, okay? So I prepared here like 5 particular things that, for me, as how I understand it, we need to consider. First one, why do you want to work abroad? So probably the most outstanding answer is you have more fulfilling financial compensation, right? So it's the salary, and that's a big difference. Could be like 5 times bigger. It's actually 10 times or 20 times bigger than the salary of many nurses back home. Actually, the salary of a nurse on a day or in a month is just a day of salary of many UK nurses. So that's a massive difference, isn't it? Another contributing or another supporting factors why many nurses want to work abroad is that there's 100 health insurance, but of course it doesn't include dental procedures, but health services it is 100% free. Then there's better work environment in general, not always, not all the time, not everywhere, but in general there's a better work environment. And of course, the experience of working in a first world country is actually awesome, really. So those are just like bonus on top of the fulfilling greener pasture working abroad. But what's your answer with that question? Why do you want to work abroad? Is that one of those reasons? If yes, then tick the box. Secondly, do you really need to go and work abroad? So your answer will be based on your financial needs, financial requirements, and financial constraints are also included. That is just one. Also, do you experience lack of work opportunity at your place? at your area, and the only hope you can think of is working abroad or working in the UK? Is that the only way that you can meet the financial requirement of the family or of yourself? So you might just need to do a little bit of adjustment, but it all depends on your circumstance. So yeah, think about it. So third question or third factor that you may want to consider: are you ready for the consequences? Are you ready to be away from your family, to have an independent living, to have or to adopt a different culture, to have a change in your lifestyle, with the change with the time as well, change with the transport? If you are used to be sent to work by your parents, or someone's collecting you, driving you home, it may not be possible here in the UK once you moved here. And are you ready to adjust to different weather? Most of the time it's cold here in the UK, especially now it's just autumn. But on my way home this morning, it was like, I think 2 degrees or 4 degrees. It feels like winter already, and some cars have ice on top of them. But yeah, are you ready as well to take all the examinations? So you will start with English examination, and then you will have two parts of nursing related examinations: the computerized exam, or CBT, computer based test, and then also the practical part of it, which is the OSCE. Are you ready for that? It's not easy. The chance of you failing is almost 50-50. You cannot really tell. It's very subjective sometimes, but are you ready to fail? I'm not saying that you will fail, but the possibility is always there. We cannot ignore it. If you are used to it, that's very good. That's admirable. And also, is the wallet ready for all of this? It may require you to shell out some amount of money, not just for examinations, though many trusts or many hospital management are providing a sponsorship, but initially you need to spend for everything, and they will just reimburse it later on. And of course, if you want to focus on taking your examination, you have to take a break from work, but you should still be able to finance every trip, go interview center, every meal, every day, everything. You still need money to spend while you're not working. So the answer is all yours. Let's move on to number 4. Are you ready to work in a new work environment? Also some sort of adjustment, of course. Are you now quite comfortable with what you're doing? It may be different from what you will be doing when you come here to the UK. Even if you are in the same department, even if you are in the same practice, say you are a dialysis nurse in the Philippines, even if you will still be doing dialysis nursing here in the UK, there will still be lots of differences and adjustments that you need to take. Lots of changes, new learning, and it will not always be easy. Okay? Are you ready for that? It's not a fairy tale dream job. Remember that. You may be seeing photos of your friends working in the UK, taking their pictures next to the Tower Bridge, next to Big Ben, next to Coca-Cola Ferris wheel or the London Eye. But of course we have time to enjoy, but you don't usually see the working part of it, for them to be able to do this and do that, go there and go here. So it's not a fairy tale job here in the UK as a nurse, okay? And are you ready to adjust mentally and physically? It can be exhausting sometimes, even if the ratio of nurse here can only be just 1:5 or 1:9 or 1:12, which is a lot lesser compared to those working on the ward in the Philippines. It is still not easy. Even if you have healthcare assistance, it is still not easy. It can still be exhausting. Are you ready for that? So the answer is yours. Let's move on to the last considerations that is very important. Can you still secure a job here in the UK as a nurse in 2020. Right, let's talk about this. The Philippines is the main non-British, non-EU country source of nurses of the UK. The next to that is India, and next to that is some European countries, and following the list are some Western countries. Even nurses from the USA and Canada, they come here to work here in the UK. And in the middle of last year, 2018, there are almost 11,000 Filipino nurses in the NHS, and over 6,000 Indians. Probably, I think it is not included on those numbers those who are already British citizen Filipinos or British citizen Indians. So there's a massive population of outside or overseas nurses here in the UK. And yeah, in addition to that, by the way, many apart from European and Western countries, the Africans has a big population of nurses here in the UK as well. And I think this year NHS will open, or they will start like a major campaign to recruit health workers, including nurses from other countries outside EU, to meet the growing demand for healthcare staff. So they are trying to start a more serious drive to increase the nursing staff in the NHS. That is in the NHS alone. There are lots of private hospitals all over the UK. A report says that in the previous years they needed 1,500, or they are actually acquiring or hiring additional 1,500 nurses per year. But now they need 5,000 additional nurses per year. So just to meet the demand, and this situation hasn't been addressed in the past couple of decades. So it's going to be a long-term problem. It's going to be not problem, but a long-term challenge for the NHS to solve. So that only means that there's a lot of opportunities to work here in the UK. Right, so the staffing challenge has been existing for the last few decades, as I mentioned, and it is quite sure, I would say, that once you passed all the requirements, once you are qualified, I personally experienced that I was hired by more than one NHS. So I applied for two hospitals. NHS is National Health Service, and two hospitals, and then I need to decide which hospital to go to, and because that only shows that there's really a great need of nurses here in the UK. And according to the other nurses that I have spoken to here in the UK in different hospitals, they said this challenge has been there for a long time already, since they arrived here 20 years ago. And there's a lot of reasons why, and we're not gonna talk about it here in this video. By the way, I haven't mentioned about nursing homes yet, which is also a big entity, a big industry, a big department of healthcare system here in the UK. And they need a lot of nurses as well. They also give very good pay for nurses. And if you want more information, the only agency I can suggest in the Philippines is Oman Phil, because it is through their assistance, through their help, that's why I'm able to get here or come here to the UK, and they're the ones actually organizing the hiring process in the Philippines in partnership with another agency here in the UK who is directly connected to different hospitals. Okay, so but they are not the first agency that I have attended to for my interviews, because as I mentioned, I was hired by two hospitals in the UK when I was still in the Philippines. And so I can name a couple of people there. Sir Rolly Surban has been he's really good. He's really nice in assisting you, especially Mom Rona as well. So every time I call them, I message them, they are trying their best to give me an immediate, a soon response. So yeah, Omanfield is my agency, but there's a lot of other agencies there, other legitimate agencies as well. So just ask people around you. So right, we're nearing the end of this video now. So with all of these considerations in mind, with some personal considerations you have, we've run through some factors that you may want to consider. What is your answer? Would you consider working here in the UK? Do you think it is the time for you to come here? Do you think it is the time for the family to really benefit from this? But as I said, a lot of things for you to consider based on your circumstance, based on your situation. Are you ready for all of those consequences rather, that I mentioned earlier? But I know many of you guys are waiting for my own answer, for my own response, for my own take on this matter, my own stand. So what I can say is, obviously, it's a good idea, it's a good thing, yeah. Based on my analysis, no, of course you have your own situation, I have my own situation. We are different to one another, and based on my analysis on the situation of the world, of the situation of the economy of different countries, not just the Philippines but also of UK and other European countries, I must say it is not bad to consider working in the UK in 2020 and probably later on. It is not a bad idea. It is not a bad idea in general, regardless of any other circumstances of other people. It is a good idea to go to UK in 2020, because there's a lot of things apart from the topics, the factors we tackled. There's a lot of other people you need to consider: your workmates, your patients, your family, the company you're working in. You need to consider them as well. And of course your other routines in life, your daily routine, your spiritual routine is very important, so you need to consider them. I did consider all of those things. So yeah, now I've given my part. Now we'd like, not just me, probably other people watching this, would like to hear your stand, your thoughts about this matter. So please feel free to comment them or share them in the comment section below, so at least we can also see and read them, and I'm sure we can also pick a delicious thought or thoughts out of it. So so I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope I was able to help you, give you sort of idea to actually align the way we think, align the way or how we make decision regarding this matter. And thanks for watching this video. Thanks for joining me in this coffee break, excuse me. And please do give this a thumbs up if you feel like you've learned out of it. Feel free to share to other people, and also don't forget to subscribe and click the bell button so you will be updated. And of course, always share your smile and spread the love, because life is delicious. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.